Alright, holiday card number 9. Let's get started. So for today's card, we're going to be using Stampin' Up's Ornamental Pine. And we're going to be using Simon Says stamp, their white pigment ink, black cardstock, and I'm using Spectrum Noir color pencils. So I'm going to take the first stamp, which is the branch, and ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp it. I was trying to figure out exactly which way I wanted the branch to hang, because we're going to be putting an ornament hanging from it. And I lifted it up and it was perfect. Because what we're going to be doing today is a color pencil technique that actually Gina K just did, and I'll put a link for her video down below. And it inspired me because I was like, now that's interesting, I want to see how this works. So that's why we're doing this today. Now what I suggest is, so you don't have the problem like I just did where I stamped it and it went into the wrong spots, you can use your Stamp-A-Majig, which would help line it up and give you better placement. But mine was kind of away from me at the moment, so I just figured I would wing it. And with coloring with the color pencils, I figured I could fix it. So now I'm getting the ornament stamp from that collection, and I'm going to ink it up also in white. And then stamp it on the ornament, the hook for the ornament. And I plan to try this again because I'm interested in like what it would look like with different stamp sets that I have. And I zoomed in close so that way you could see the coloring with the color pencils. What I really like about this white technique, especially for this particular scene, is it opened it up to parts. If I left parts of it white, it looked like it was snow on top of the branch. So I was like, you know what, this is perfect. So you'll see that as I do the edge, that the part of the branch that's coming off, I don't fill in the entire white area. I purposely leave the white that's on top there, so that way it looks like a little pile of snow. And all I'm doing is you're coloring literally on top of the white ink that you just put down. So once I did the branches, I moved on to the green. Now this stamp, it was a little bit harder because of all the pine that you have to color in the green. That's why I want to try something maybe more solid, like a flower or something like that, where you would be able to color in and do different shading with the color of the petals and stuff like that. So we'll be doing this again. We'll be trying this again because it was really quite interesting. And I was thinking about also doing it on craft cardstock. I think it would be pretty on that too. So thank you, Gina K, because this is really interesting. So as you see, we're just continuing along all the pines, putting down our green color. We're just going through. And it's really quite amazing how coloring on top of the white almost gives the color pencil a vibrancy that you're not expecting. You know, you would think it would actually be more dull, but it does something. It makes it brighter in a way. So we're gonna just finish up a few spots, making sure to get, you know, that green on there. And then I decided for the ornament, I wanted to color in the flower. There's like a flower in the center. And I'm going to zoom in closer so you can kind of see the ornament better. And I'm just coloring around. And then my idea was that the rest of the ornament would be gold. So needless to say, this part was a little bit harder because it has a lot of detail in it, but because my white ink, that Simon Says ink, it was so juicy, it kind of spilled into the sections that was supposed to be black. So I decided that I would just go back in with a white gel pen, which you'll see at the next step of this video. I go in and I try to put details back into this because some of it went away with the coloring of the yellow goldy color. And I believe right here is where I get the gel pen. Yep. And I'm using the Uniball Signo. That's it. The Signo pen by Uniball. And this is a really good white gel pen. And I always start it out on my finger just to make sure, just to get the ink is going. And I just, after I kind of fill in some designs, I go in with making dots to try to give it some other detail. And then I decided to also put some white lines on the flower as like some highlights. So you'll see that in a second. I'm just trying to, there we go. And it just makes the flower pop a little. And then we're gonna go through, and I'm not trying to put lots of chunk of white all over. The pen itself, at times it's almost like, because of how I was using it, it wasn't coming out smoothly in one line. So it allowed me to put little bits of white here and there, and it didn't look very uniform. But since there was snow already, I was leaving snow already on the branch, it just made sense that I put some on the pine. So now, I just wanted to make sure that the white pigment ink was dry a little bit, and I wanted to draw more in on the brown on the branch where it looks like the hook of the ornament is definitely on that branch. Now we're going to take the EK powder, EK Success powder, because we're going to do an embossed sentiment. And in that set, the sentiment is Christmas Wishes. So I'm just inking it up with Versamark ink, excuse me. And then I'm going to put it over my coffee filter, just like always, with the Tim Holtz super fine detailed embossing powder, and that's in gold. And I didn't mean Tim Holtz, I meant Ranger for sure. Yeah, it's Ranger. And we're just going to heat it up with the heating tool, remembering the heat from the back. And I'm going to have to look at some other videos and try and figure out how do we get that white powder off. At the end, I use baby white very lightly to clean it off. But I'm going to see if there's another way. Right now, I'm just going to attach it to our card. And we're using the standard card, the A2 card. And as I'm putting it together, when I did this card, when it came to my mind, I had already planned on using sequins, but I did have a couple of smudges, so it works out. So I grabbed my piercing mat and my sequins, which we're going to be using sequins from Little Things, and it's from Lucy's Cards, and this one is called Champagne. And it has a mixture of like an iridescent and gold, and they're all different sizes. So you have the big ones, super tiny. There's just a lot of little bits. It would actually work really well for a sugar card. So if you are interested in that particular brand of sequins, in the links below, I will make sure to put the website where you can go and purchase these. And then we're just taking our multi-matte medium to glue down the sequins. And once again, there's really no rhyme or reason. I kind of put them down and wherever my fancy hits. Some stuff I like right there grouped together, then I move around. I just let it all kind of take shape on its own. And I think I put 2 more on there. I think I wind up grabbing either another big one out of the container. No, oh no, it's the baby white. Okay, so right there I'm cleaning off just the bottom with the baby wipe to clear off the powder from when we did the sentiment. And one of the sequins I hadn't glued down. I thought I did, but I hadn't. So I just placed it over on the other side of the ornament. And there you have it. Our card is complete. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed our card. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. That way you'll get updates on all my upcoming videos. And I look forward to seeing you guys on our next one, which should be later this week. You guys have a great day. Take care.